if it does, I think we got to give Temple the edge. They've got a sophomore by the name of Kip Schenefeld, has punted the ball 44 times, and he's got a 44.8.
This weekend's action, the Temple Owls invade the stadium here in Newark, and when Temple and Delaware get together, Howard, no matter what the record, it's always at Donnybrook.
Both teams always come into the game intense. Sometimes I think maybe too intense. Both teams having off years this year, certainly for Delaware 3-3. They're not used to being at 500 at this juncture of the season. And Temple at 1-5. Of course, when you're playing teams like Pitt and Penn State and Georgia and West Virginia, it's no disgrace to be 1-5. I think perhaps the key to this game might boil down to the kicking. And if it does, I think we got to give Temple the edge. They've got a sophomore by the name of Kip Schenefeld, has punted the ball 44 times, and he's got a 44.8-yard average. And it's a legitimate average because his longest is only 59. So he's a consistently good kicker. And it looks like Delaware might, if they forced Temple to punt the ball a lot, they might be finding themselves with that old bugaboo bad field position a lot again today. We'll say it one time at the beginning of the game. We don't have to mention it anymore. If Delaware is going to win today, they cannot make the mistakes they've been making up to now.
No, in their 3 loss, the Blue Hens have turned the football over 25 times. Weather conditions, sunshine, wind will be a factor, and we'll be back with the kickoff, Delaware and Temple, in just 1 minute.
Super E Plus, a new symbol for excellence in energy-efficient homes. For years, home buyers have needed a program that certifies energy-saving construction. So Delmarva Power, with the help of builders and architects, has developed Super E Plus. The result? Year-round living comfort, high resale value, and money-saving efficiency. To find out more, contact your Delmarva Power District office and discover the benefits of Super E Plus.
Whether you're a world-class skier or in competition with yourself, you need a boot that puts you in control. Flexon by Reichly. Its unique rib design flexes naturally. You'll notice an overall improvement in your skiing. Smoother, more powerful control, and day-long comfort. Natural Flex is the difference. Now available in 2 convenient rear entry models, the RX-7 with cable retention and the RX Air. Reichly, the Swiss art in ski boots.
Here at Delaware Stadium, the University of Delaware captain Greg Robertson is meeting with the game captains for the Temple Owls. Number 30 is Harold Harmon from Indian River High School in Frankfort, Delaware. Number 36 is Kevin Ross, starting cornerback. Number 69 is starting offensive center Mike Berger. And Bob Shires, a reserve defensive tackle, is big, number 92. As Delaware on the sideline, and we had a little spark of interest, Howard, here even before the captains met at the center of the field as the Delaware band finished playing our national anthem and set up to perform the customary University of Delaware alma mater. We ran out of time.
That's right. You have to, the band has to be off the field in time to start the game on time. If they're not, if the game is delayed because of pregame activities or halftime activities, if the halftime runs too long, it's a 15-yard penalty against the home team on the ensuing kickoff.
And one of the reasons, or the primary reason, that there was a delay here at the start as Delaware's band came on to perform, Temple University's Chariot Weight Band came down from Philadelphia, and they took a little bit of the pregame activities away, and they ran out of time.
Well, usually they have their routines timed pretty good. What it probably was the 2 teams stayed out on the field for the warm-up a little bit longer than they customarily do.
Delaware will receive to start the first half of play. The Temple sideline, Temple 1-5 under their new head coach, replacing the retired Wayne Harden, Bruce Arians. In his first year, former assistant to the legendary, the late Paul Bear Bryant at Alabama. And Arians, one of the youngest head football coaches in the country, only 39 years of age.
Interestingly, I'm sorry, go ahead. Temple won the toss, Len, but they elected to kick off. They took the wind. There is a brisk wind blowing from our left to our right, so conceivably Delaware could receive the kickoff in both halves.
Freshman Jim Cooper, number 1, is set to kick off for the Cherry and White of Temple. And he booms it high into the far side, and Cason at the 10, 15, to about the 19-yard line. One of those making the initial hit on him was John Smith, a reserve defensive back, and Delaware will operate from their own 19-yard line on first down. Delaware will have some changes in the offensive set as Gary Johansson has moved in to play the center spot, and regular center Pat McKee is now playing left tackle. Nothing. Absolutely nothing on the first down carry. Cason carries it, but he runs in to Shires, the defensive tackle, and down he goes. Shires is not listed as starting for the Cherry and White, but he makes the first hit and had assistance. Loss of a yard, second down and 11 for Delaware. Hammond splits to the far side. That's higher as the wingback on the right. Cason now in motion. Reeder. And not much. Back to the original line of scrimmage, the 19-yard line. Tom Kilkenny. There's the Delaware offensive front. John Cason, B.J. Webster, Chris Heyer, Dan Reeder, Paul Hammond, Mark Rossi, Pat McKee. John Laub is not starting. Steve Pontiakis is also not starting, although Pontiakis has now come in on the third down play. Third down, Delaware still needing 10 from their own 19-yard line. This is Heyer in motion. Reeder. Jeff Ward makes the stop, number 99. Ward's a freshman. Came a long way to play football at Temple. He is the son of a military man and last played his high school football with the American school in Brussels, Belgium. That's a long way from Philadelphia, Hal.
Sure is.
Mike Anderson comes on to punt. Anderson averaging just under 35 yards a kick. Into the wind. And the Owls just let it go out of bounds. Anthony Young is their punt return specialist. And Temple will have excellent field position just inside of their own, now just on the Temple side of the 50-yard line.
Len, he's listed as a backup on the 2 deep sheet, but Harold Harmon from Indian River is out there to start the game, the first series for Temple.
Well, he had a great showing against Delaware a year ago, 209 yards, including a 69-yard touchdown run. First and 10 for the Owls. They place the football at midfield. This is Paul Palmer. Palmer is a freshman from Potomac, Maryland. He puts the football to the Delaware 46-yard line. Not great size, Palmer, 5'9", 168-pounder. He is their leading rusher, 225 yards, 1 touchdown. He's averaging 4.7 on the run. Second down and 6 from just outside the Delaware 45-yard line. This is Carter, Russell Carter, in motion. Palmer just stacking everything up, and a flag goes down as Palmer goes down.
That was after the whistle, too, Len.
John Gannon got him around the ankle, and then he had assistance. Face mask call against Delaware, says referee Anthony Chambers.
The question now is it the 5 or the 15? It's the small one.
It's the shorter of the two. It's 5, but gives Temple a first down at the Delaware 37-yard line. Carter comes out, and number 4, James Edwards, will split to the far side. Good look at number 14, Tim Reardon, senior quarterback from Waterford, Connecticut. Palmer finding a little bit of a seam and then gets tripped as he crosses the 35-yard line. Vaughn Dickinson in on the stop for the Hens. Doesn't look like much, Howard, but that's 5 yards.
Palmer is a good, strong runner. Well, when you look at his size, I mean, he's listed at 168 in the program, and You know how accurate the program heights and weights are sometimes. They try to beef them up a little bit.
Second down and 5, a little better than 5 at the 33-yard line. This is Edwards in motion. Palmer again. It's been all Paul Palmer early here, running him out of the tailback spot. This time to the 30-yard line.
A little bit of extracurricular activity over here on the side between Willie Marshall from Temple and Mike Harris from Delaware. They got tangled up with each other after the whistle.
Charles Bryce credited with the last stop of Palmer. It'll be third down and a long 2 at the Delaware 30-yard line. Palmer again, and he is going to be stopped short of the first down stick. Sean Riley, number 58, he's just getting up off the ground. And Captain Greg Robertson was on the bottom of the pile. Fourth down.
Looks like they're going to go for it.
They need a short one, and it's a very short one here on fourth down.
Is there such a thing as a big play this early in the game?
I don't think so. Delaware stacking its defense. Who else? Palmer, and he has the first down. Greg Robertson had a shot at him, let him slip outside, and Palmer, almost exclusively the Temple offense here in the first 5 minutes of play, gives the cherry and white, the Owls, a first down at the Delaware 27-yard line. So the Owls are just testing their manhood. Here's another look at it from the end zone. He just slipped away from Robertson and slipped for the first down. Palmer. This time they stack everything, do the Blue Hens. They're there. Cannon, Pulaski. Both Pulaskis, as a matter of fact, were there. Jim Pulaski wears number 16. Ken Pulaski wears number 30. They're the identical twins, and boy, would they like a big win today. They are from Philadelphia.
That's the play the Delaware defense needed the last time.
Greg Pronko, that's number 14. Tim Reardon, senior quarterback. Greg Pronko is split to the far side. Carter is split out of our view to the near side. Second down and 8. Harmon, he is dragging Riley. This is Harold Harmon. Temple setting it up nicely as they just exclusively ran Palmer and then slipped it to the up back Harmon. Gain of 5 on the play. It'll be third down and 3.
He got 4 of those yards on his own, Len.
Good leg drive by Harmon. He's got good size. 5'9", but he goes 208. Went for better than 200 yards against the Hens a year ago, including that long touchdown jaunt. The only touchdown of the ball game. The Temple won 22-0. And now we are going to have Temple as Reardon is trying to check off at the line of scrimmage. The Owls are going to be hit with a delay of game penalty.
Apparently Reardon didn't like the defense he saw, the play he had called for the defense that Delaware came out in, and it took him a little bit too longer to check out.
Bill Maley on the sideline. Bill?
That delay of the game penalty was due to Reardon checking off the line. Almost every play he comes up, he checks off, reads the defense, and changes the play at the line. That's going to happen all game.
And here is Temple coming out of a shotgun now on third down and better than 7. Reardon picked up. Don Gannon. Reardon had lots of daylight in front of him. Had not Gannon been there, Paul Howard.
Gannon overran the play and still had time to react and get back and get in and make the tackle from behind. And it's a good thing he did because Reardon would have had a first down and a lot more. Here, let's take another look at it.
Gannon, he just fights off the blocker. And here, as you can see, Reardon's got plenty of daylight in front of him. But down he goes as Gannon gets him at the 32-yard line. This will be Jim Cooper to try a 42-yard field goal attempt. He has the distance, and it is good.
Well, he was warming up, Len, from the 50-yard line before the game.
Jim Cooper, who is a freshman, kicked off for the Owls, has just booted a 42-yard field goal. On the year coming in, Cooper had hit 1 out of 2 attempts. He had made one for 43 yards. The one that he missed was from 51 yards, so he has hit now on 2 out of 3. The freshman, 5'11", 181-pounder, number 1, puts 3 on the board for Temple as the Owls take a 3-0 lead over Delaware here in the first quarter. And we have about 7.5 minutes remaining to be played. Delaware, with the opening kickoff, unable to move, trapped deep in their own territory, and they had to give it up on the punt by Anderson that sailed into the wind and was held up a bit. And the Owls, gambling on a 4th down play, picked up a first down with Palmer doing the honors, but then Delaware rose to the occasion, and Cooper had to come on and try the field goal. Temple 3, Delaware nothing. A year ago, Temple had Bob Clouser kicking field goals galore against the Hens. He kicked 5 on that occasion as the Owls won in Philadelphia 22-0. Cason, and he is hit hard. Quickly downfield is Todd Hirschman. Hirschman is number 7, and he's coming off now. Hirschman made the hit in with the bomb squad. Hirschman is a senior from Brooklyn, and Delaware again will have 4 field position.
That was a good kickoff that time. It wasn't very deep, but it was high, and it gave Temple plenty of time to get down and cover it. And here,
you can see Cason, and then here's number 7, Hirschman. He rides into him. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line as we go to live action, and this is Cason trapped down behind the line of scrimmage. The Owls ready. Todd Bowles, who is the rover back, number 15 for Temple. He comes across quickly, and there's a loss of a long one of the plays. 2nd down, 12 will be upcoming for the Blue Hens.
Temple basically plays a 4-3 defense, Len, but a lot of times you'll see all 3 linebackers up on the line.
Higher in motion. Hammond unable to bring it in. He had cleared very quickly, and you could probably hear the crowd yelling, throw the football. But Webster, remember, he's rolling to his left, and he's got to take a second or so to set up. Delaware's leading receiver. Another look at it.
I think we're going to see that it was a little bit overthrown, and even if he had caught it, he would have been out of bounds.
But Hammond has gotten the defense beat. Can't bring it in. Right near the sideline, he had beaten Purvis Herder, the cornerback, on the left side. 3rd down and 12 for Delaware from their own 16-yard line. That's Pontiacus setting up tight here on the near side. Webster, they've got him stacked up. Jeff Ward in company with Tim Hanley. Number 94 is Hanley. Ward is 99, and Delaware will be forced to punt it away again.
Once again, Anderson kicking into the wind. He did a pretty good job last time.
Anthony Young is standing at midfield to return Anderson's punt. The wind ties it up. Here is Young, and he is belted quickly. Fumble. Delaware's got it. Jim Pulaski has the fumble. This has been one of Temple's problems in their 1-5 record. They have 2 turned the ball over.
They fumbled 17 times this year.
Delaware, of course, has turned it over a lot more. He gets away from the first man, and then he is belted. The ball is just bouncing around.
That ball was actually stripped out of his hand. He had pretty good control of it.
Back to action. Webster, he is throwing for Heyer, and Heyer has the reception up here at the 43-yard line. Chris Heyer with a fine reception, a quick pickup of 6 for the Blue Hens. Following the turnover by Anthony Young. Young has had his moments returning punts. He returned a couple a year ago for scores for Temple. But that time he coughed it up in Delaware. Trying to take advantage of it now. Quick pickup of 6 on the pass play from Webster to Heyer. 2nd down and 4 at the 42.5. Reeder, they just stack everything up. First man in on him was Eric Haas.
last week.
Well, let me check myself here. It was Tom Kilkenny, 57, not 67.
Last week, Young returned one 72 yards, but had it called back on a penalty.
And we have a blue end shaken up. Mark Rossi had to be assisted to the sideline. A leg injury. And Paul Chakottis has replaced him. That's in the offensive front for Delaware. Third down and a long three. Hammond. And as the pass was thrown, we had a flag drop. And let's see if Delaware is going to be hit with a procedure call. Referee is Anthony Chambers.
That's what
It
it
is
is.
procedure against Delaware. So that wipes out the first down. That flag, and actually a whistle was blown just as the pass was unloaded. Evidently Hammond in motion, just a little prematurely. 5-yard step off, putting the ball back at the 39-yard line. Tubby Hammond not too happy with the call on the sideline. 3rd and 8. Tim Sager now in at tight end here on the near side. Here is nothing.
Yeah, there's a flag.
Now a flag is thrown, and we have one official say no, and the other official throws the flag as D'Arienzo tried to make his cut. There was contact.
That was obvious interference. It was the referee that was about 20 yards away that called it, though.
Here's the call. Tubby Raymond talking things over with Guy D'Arienzo.
Here we go. Take another look at it.
D'Arienzo to the top of the screen, and he is out of our view, but as Webster unloads it, he gets tangled up. And the call will go against Temple and give Delaware a first down at the 43.5-yard line. And D'Arienzo comes in, and Sager goes out, so Delaware will be operating with 2 wide outs, D'Arienzo and Hammond. Hammond to the far side, D'Arienzo to the near side, and now B.J. Webster wants to ask for a timeout. As D'Arienzo goes to the huddle, Webster goes to the sideline, and a little confusion here.
That's what it looked like. I don't know whether he saw something that Temple was lined up with that didn't show up in the game films that they watched, that they weren't prepared for, or whether there was just some confusion among the Delaware offensive players as to what play was going to be run. But in either case, B.J. did the right thing. It's better to waste the time out and avoid making a big mistake that would give Temple the ball than to run a play and not be sure of yourself.
The Owls hitting for 3 points on a 42-yard field goal by Jim Cooper. On their first possession, they had great field position following the punt by Anderson into the wind that was held up at midfield. Gambling on a 4th down call with less than a yard to go. Palmer made the first down, and then after Delaware came up with a defensive play by John Gannon to stop Reardon, the Owls went for the 3, and they got it. D'Arienzo into the near side, Hammond to the far side. This is first down, Delaware, at their own 43-yard line. Flag is down. Reeder has the reception here in midfield, but we'll have to check out the flag that was thrown as the play evolved.
That's going to be either a procedure or a hold against Delaware, I'm sure, judging from where the flag was thrown. Here comes the preliminary signal. Illegal procedure against Delaware.
Anthony Chambers gives the signal, and we are off to a very hesitating start here. Now, we have played almost 10 minutes here in the first quarter, but we've run into a lot of flags. The ball stepped back 5 yards. Back to the 38. First down and 15 as Tim Sager comes into the Delaware huddle.
The ball has never crossed midfield yet. It was on the 50 once on the first Delaware kick, but has never been in Temple territory.
That's Cason in motion. Fire. And they get back to 5. that they lost on the penalty as Heyer goes down right at the 43-yard line. Tim Hanley made the stop on him. Hanley is the defensive end, number 94, on the far side. Junior from Norristown, Pennsylvania. Second down and 10. Delaware trying to cross into Temple territory. Hammond. Paul Hammond with the reception. He's Delaware's number 1 receiver. Came into this contest with 21 catches on the air. The youngster from Concord High School in Wilmington, Delaware, and he and BJ congratulate each other. Delaware into Temple territory.
I knew if I said that, that would happen. As soon as you say something hasn't happened.
Tim Slagle is in the contest now, and he is setting up as a receiver into the near sideline out of our view. Reeder carries it, but not for much. They're looking for a Reeder, and Ken Stubbelow, number 93, with assistance, knocks Reeder off his feet. Reeder, Delaware's number 1 rusher. 2-yard pickup on the play. Slagle goes out. John Cason replaces him as Delaware is trying to give Temple some new looks with some new people. That's Hammond split to the far side. Heyer. Chris Heyer has the reception for Delaware. The Hens appear, Howard, to be nickel and diming their way down the field.
I think maybe that might have been part of the problem in a couple of games this year. They tried to get too much all at once. And I think maybe Webster's finally is realizing that the short stuff is there. You got to take it. You got to take what the other team gives you.
That is a quick pop that will bring up a 3rd down and 5 at the 38-yard line of Temple. Temple leading here first quarter 3-0. Webster's got the first down as he's inside the Temple 30-yard line. And the fans appreciate it. That's something that Delaware has not done on many occasions so far here in 1983. Threaten the flank and then take off and go.
That's one of Tubby Raymond's favorite plays, too, Lenny. He calls it the waggle. It's the option where the quarterback rolls out of the pocket, and if he can't find anybody in a hurry, then he's committed to run the ball. And
first and 10 at the 29-yard line. Hammond this time will split into the near side. And Heyer will set up as a wingback right. Now Cason in motion. Reeder. And Reeder's got 4. Bob Balkunas. He's the left inside linebacker for Temple. He makes the stop. Danny Reeder out of Christiana High School. You know the story. Went to Boston College. Didn't like it in New England and decided to come back home. Second down and 7. And it's a short 7 for the Hens. Webster drills it. Hammond's got it. Paul Hammond makes the catch.
that was a good catch, too, because he had Kevin Ross all over his back.
And we have a flag dropped where Hammond was dropped by Ross.
I think it's a face mask. Let's take another look. Now, look, boy, he certainly...
Yeah, he's got his hand up under there doing something.
Ross did everything he could to keep Hammond from catching that ball, and he still did.
And the mark-off following the reception is to the 14-yard line of Temple. First and 10 for the Blue Hens. Cason needed the block and didn't get it, and boy, did he ever get belted down. Kevin Ross and company. Ross is a good one. He's a senior cornerback. And we have holding against Delaware that will push Delaware back. We're going to take another look at the hit. Watch Hammond just as he makes a cut. From out of nowhere comes hard charging Kevin Ross.
He got hit low there, too. Somebody had him stopped, and he was a sitting duck.
The ball is now marked back on the holding call, says referee Anthony Chambers, to the 23-yard line. First down and 17 for Delaware. Driving, following Temple's kickoff. After the Owls had gone ahead on the field goal. Webster, Pontiacus, and we are going to have a flag thrown. Pontiacus is tripped up. Anthony Young and Pontiacus got their feet tangled up, Howard.
I'm sure it was accidental, but nonetheless, it affected the outcome of the play. Young did get his feet in between Pontiacus, and that's what prevented that pass from being completed.
Pontiacus had cleared the area. Here is Webster rolling. And just as Pontiacus starts to clear away from Young, the feet get tangled up. And Delaware has a first and goal at the Temple 2-yard line. First and goal, Delaware at the Temple 2. Webster, great defensive pressure put on him, and a fine stop is put on him by Tim Hanley. Hanley looking for Webster, and Delaware thrown in arrears here back to the 13-yard line. Hanley was on Webster just that quick.
And I thought Webster hid the ball well that time. Look,
he had a blocker in front of him, but Cason could not keep out Tim Hanley. Second and goal, this time from the 13-yard line. Cason, not much riding as Hanley again is there on the defensive stop for Temple. He had help that time from Tom Kilkenny, but Delaware is having their problems trying to clear Tim Hanley out of that corner.
Hanley seemed to know it was coming that time. He was in the right place.
On the sideline, Bill Bailey's getting first-hand action right now. Bill?
Delaware's had a lot of trouble throwing the ball this year. Temple's stacking 8 men on the line because they know that. Delaware's having a little success right now throwing, but what that's also going to do is open up the running game for them. So a lot of the success of the offense depends on quarterback D.J. Webster today.
Webster now faced with a third down just outside the 12-yard line. Under pressure, Webster tosses it up. Hammond, touchdown!
Boy, did Webster get belted as he let that ball go. That's a miracle that pass was completed.
He threw it up, and Hammond,
a touchdown.
Hammond had to wait for the ball to come down. He probably thought that it was never going to come down. And the Blue Hen fans, they love it. Remember, this is Delaware that did not score against Temple a year ago and went on to finish second.
Watch this hit.
Oh, the hit that Webster took. Todd Bowles, the rover back, he unloads, but Hammond keeps his eye on the ball. Gasson, extra point try is no good. It is off to the right, but Delaware has the lead here.
I think the wind carried that.
Delaware Stadium, the wind probably got a little bit of that football as Tim Hanley, he did his best for Temple. Junior from Norristown, Pennsylvania comes off, but Delaware with a sustained drive, something the Hens have not had here in 1983.
Standing ovation. Fans love it.
Webster really got his clock cleaned by Bowles, the rover back.
Got bowled over, I guess.
He got bowled over his right by Bowles. But Hammond waited for the ball to come down nicely. And Delaware has taken a 6-3 lead here in the first quarter of play. We have 24 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter. Temple is 1-5, but everybody knows the Owls' record. They defeated Syracuse to open the season under their new head coach, Bruce Arians. Then they lost to Pittsburgh, Penn State, East Carolina last week. Cincinnati had a crack at them in there, and Boston College with their great quarterback Doug Flutie. John Gasson receiving the football to kick off. Len Holmquist and Howard Gesner as Spectravision brings you University of Delaware football. And we'll be on the road the next couple of weeks down in Virginia for James Madison University and then up to Rhode Island. This is Paul Palmer to the near side. Anthony Young is in the center of the field to return the kick. And this is Young. And he has the football out to the 40-yard line. For Delaware, making the stop on him was Matt Haudenschild.
Jim Pulaski almost had him back about the 15-yard line.
So Delaware following the turnover, the fumbled punt.
Watch number 16 come in here now and just miss him.
Good shot of our end zone, from our end zone camera. And that was Purvis Herder on the kickoff return, not Anthony Young. Purvis Herder, he's a freshman, averaging 17 yards on his kickoffs, and he helped his average on that one. Here is Reardon to Palmer, and the Hens are waiting for Palmer out of the tailback spot.
I think Reardon better find another play. Looks like Delaware's waiting for Palmer.
Well, I'll tell you, Howard, at the beginning of the year, this is a triple option offense that Arians would like to instill at Temple, but Reardon got banged up early in the year, and he is still playing with a sure shoulder, his left shoulder, not his throwing shoulder. As we have reached the end of the first quarter, we'll continue our story in the second quarter. Delaware 6 and Temple University 3 as we have reached the end of the first quarter here at the stadium in Newark.
How do you really know when you're overweight? When you step on the scale, and the scale steps back. When your zipper has finally lost its zip. When trying to go up really gets you down. You can lose that extra weight and still enjoy balanced, filling meals with Nutrisystem from Weight Loss Medical Centers. No calorie counting, no difficult food decisions. Nutrisystem is a pre-measured, pre-packaged, and medically supervised eating program. Call now for a free consultation. Weight Loss Medical Centers.
When I asked Karen to be my wife, I wanted a special engagement ring. I went to Continental Jewelers. They showed me a lot of diamonds and settings so I could see for myself why some diamonds are worth so much more than others. At Continental, they're professionals. They give an accurate gem lab analysis on any diamond so you're certain to get quality, and they spend the time to make sure you're satisfied. I was proud to give Karen a ring I knew was special from Continental Jewelers.
We'll be back again tonight at 10 with all the latest news, weather, and sports.
When First State News 5:30 edition goes off, the First State News team doesn't lock up and go home. On the contrary, they're back out on the streets finding the latest news for First State News' pen. Fresh news, factual, informative, complete. The kind of news you expect and the kind we're dedicated to providing no matter when it happens.
Take a look at today's TA high-tech radials from B.F. Goodrich. They're the tough American, high-performance radial tires born of high technology. And we've got them all. I'm Jim Baxter, your B.F. Goodrich distributor, and we're really proud of our star performers. The sophisticated Advantage TA, the sporty radial TA, the rugged radial all-terrain TA, or any of our complete B.F. Goodrich lineup. No matter what, how, or even where you drive, you'll find the best in products, prices, and services right here at Delaware Tire Center. We're located directly across from the University of Delaware Stadium on South College Avenue in Newark. And here's just some of the ways we save you money. You see, we don't charge you for the services you need when you buy new tires. Mounting, new valve stems, rotation services, and even computer spin balancing are absolutely free with your tire purchase. So check the bottom line. First quality tires, low prices, free services. Your best buys are at Delaware Tire Center in Newark.
We are back to action at Delaware Stadium, and on a second down call from inside his own 45-yard line. Quarterback Tim Reardon finds Paul Palmer out of the backfield, and the Owls are deep in Delaware territory at the 22-yard line. First and 10 for Temple.
38-yard pass play, Len.
Palmer. And grabbing an ankle and not letting go is Charles Bryce. The defensive tackle. We're going to take a look at that first down play. While we were away, it was Reardon. Here's the end zone look at it. Harmon's doing a little blocking for him, and now he's going to go out as a receiver, but straight down the middle. Palmer with the reception, and then Delaware has to come over late with Pulaski on the hit. Here is Reardon under a rush. He's throwing the football, and Palmer's got it, and he drops it. Is it ruled a completion? No. No completion. Palmer had it, and he dropped it, and the official right on the spot indicating no completion. Tim Reardon, he'd like to talk with him, but the official just walks away. Bill Maley is right where Temple is on offense right now, Bill.
For Temple quarterback Tim Reardon, audibles almost every play. What he's doing is reading the safeties, Kenny and Jim Pulaski. So what ends up, you end up with a cat and mouse game between the safeties trying to hide it and the quarterbacks trying to guess the defense. So you might want to watch that throughout the game. Watch the safeties flipping back and forth.
Third down and 9. Thank you, Bill.
There they
For
go.
Temple. Just outside the 21-yard line. The blitz is on. And Reardon Z goes down. Putting the heat on him was Joe Quigg. I don't know whether Joe's going to get credit for a sack or not.
He has to.
He's the leading sacker for the Hens, Joe Quigg. Blitzing in that time on Reardon. And this is Temple with Reardon at the controls in arrears here on offense. Back to the 30-yard line, and they're going to bring in Schenefeld. Now remember, if the field goal unit came on, they would be kicking. There's number 19, giving a little traffic signal. Kip Schenefeld, reserve quarterback, 44-yard average on his punch, but before the play can start, Temple is going to be hit with a 5-yard penalty delay of game. That's not going to bother Schenefeld at all. 5 more yards with his average and kicking into the wind.
It might make it easier for him to find the corner. Give him a little more room to work with. Now Temple sends in another whole unit.
Yeah, when you play 1A football, you've got to have a lot of people.
But Schenefeld, he's standing on the 50, so it'll be about the 45 where he actually kicks it from.
Joe Campbell for Delaware to return, standing at the 10-yard line. Off the side of his foot, he's angling for the corner, and he's going to get a good piece of it as it dies and finally bounces out of bounds at the 6-yard line. So Delaware, Kip Schenefeld, he does his job for the Owls.
He sure did. There he
Schenefeld,
is coming off the field.
he's a rangy young guy, 6'4", 213-pounder from Trevose, Pennsylvania. 44.8-yard average. That time not so much for distance and average, but to pin Delaware deep, and that is exactly what he has done.
Actually, he looked a little bit disappointed. I think he'd kind of hoped to get it inside the 5.
All kickers think that way.
Sure.
First and 10 for Delaware. This is Delaware leading at 6-3. Cason, and he's got a little running room.
Good yardage.
John Cason up close to the 15-yard line as Delaware's up front blocking does the job. Remember, there are some changes in the Delaware forward wall. John Laub is now in. There's big number 68.
You know, for the second week in a row, the Delaware offensive line has a big job in front of them. Last week, they faced a line against Towson State that any NFL team would be proud to have it in terms of weight. And this Temple defensive line is no small kids either.
Here is Reeder. Danny Reeder, he spins away for a first down as Delaware pushes the football out over the 20-yard line to the 22-yard line. Dan Reeder, who came into the contest, averaging 4.7 yards, 389 yards on the year, and also with 3 catches from out of the backfield. Delaware first down at their own 22-yard line. Hens leading it here. Second quarter action. 6-3. Delaware's touchdown pass from Webster, who got belted on the play, to an eagerly waiting Paul Hammond. John Cason on the carry. Not a whole lot of room into the middle of the Temple defense. The defense primarily has number 94 Tim Hanley at one end position, 99 Jeff Ward at the other, 93 Ken Stubbelow is at left tackle, and the right tackle is 98 Jerry McDowell. And they use 4 backers. Second down and 7 at the 25. Webster goes down. Just waited a little bit too long, and
Hanley got the first hand on him.
Hanley with his strength, 6'2", 228-pounder. He got the hand on Here is offside going to be called against Temple. A flag thrown far across the field.
Delaware gets a break.
Yeah, Webster had been trapped behind the line of scrimmage, and instead of
Oh, maybe that's why he was trapped.
third down, and I don't think so. Hanley's playing on this side of the field. Now he's coming out. Hanley's going to be replaced in the forward wall. 54 is in there now. Steve Domanowski here at the left defensive end position. Second down and just a little bit more than a yard, as Fire is the intended receiver. Ross is covering him on the near side.
That was just a quick out looking for the first down, and Webster threw the ball a little bit behind him.
Third down, and Hanley is back in, and Domanowski is out for Temple. Ty D'Arienzo will come on to replace Paul Hammond. Hammond, the touchdown maker. That was his third touchdown reception of the year, by the way. Third down and a long one at the 30. Cason. Cason has the first down, and he's out of the 40-yard line to the 42-yard line. Don Cason and B.J. Webster is doing an artful job of picking apart the Temple defense, especially the backers.
Let's take another look. You see Cason in motion.
And he is
A
wide
perfectly
open.
thrown pass.
D'Arienzo trying to get back to throw a block for him, but very wisely laid off when he knew that he wasn't going to get back there in time. First and 10 from the 42. Cason inside, but not a whole lot. He's got a couple. But Hanley is there quickly. And Shires is also there. That's Bob Shires, the defensive tackle, and one of the game captains for Temple. Bobby Raymond and company on the sideline. Sunshine, but brisk here at the stadium in Newark. Second down and 7 from the 45. Higher. Skittering down as Ross makes the cover. But Higher outdistanced Todd Bowles, the rover back, and picks up yardage into Temple territory at the 41-yard line. Chris Higher, he has been a receiver on several occasions earlier in the year, but Webster is finding him more and more.
Perfect pass. The Delaware backs are doing a good job of getting open. A good job of getting open.
Cason, Higher. Reeder has even caught one. First and 10 at the 41. Flag down. Webster, he's going to go down as well. Goes down in a heap. If you can call one man a heap, that's Chuck Cohen, the defensive tackle. That's one thing that Temple has, Howard, and that is plenty of depth. Bill Bailey on the sideline.
As I said before, Temple stacked 8 guys up on the defensive line. What that does is isolate the running back on a linebacker man-to-man coverage. That's just where Delaware's hurting them. With the short passes, the linebackers can't keep up with the speed of the running back.
Delaware is going to be hit for a penalty here, but I believe Temple's going to say forget it. Procedure was the call. Rather unusual flag thrown in the middle of the offensive line to have procedure. Usually that kind of a flag
That usually comes in the backfield.
Holding or something. But the loss was
about 4 yards
to the 45, 46-yard line, almost a 5-yard loss. The Stager sets up here. Now Webster, things are confused again, and BJ is going to go to the sideline and talk things over with head coach Tubby Raymond. Delaware setting up and then doing their customary flip-flopping at the line of scrimmage, and the Stager crossed behind Webster and got ready to set up here on the near side. Webster just said, something's not right, and decides to talk things over on the sideline.
Interesting thing, during the timeout, the entire Temple defense comes over to the bench, talk with their coach.
Second down and 15 will be facing Delaware.
Something else I see today that you don't usually see at Delaware Stadium when Temple's in town, and that's empty seats. Not a lot of them, but There are a few.
Well, after all, Temple is 1-5, and Delaware's sputtering itself at 3-3. And you got to catch those falling leaves sometime, Howard.
That's right.
Second down and 15 as we are ready to begin play. 9:36 remaining here in the first half. Delaware leads it 6-3. Danny Reeder. As Temple is looking for Webster on the outside, Reeder slips it back inside very nicely. And he's got a quick pop of almost 10.
He got the loss and about 5 more.
Third down and a long 5 at the 36-yard line of Temple. Number 71 is Chuck Cohen. There's Tim Hanley, 94. Let's see what Webster wants to do here. And here is Delaware. Here is obvious motion now. I tell you, this has probably been, Howard, the most hesitating first half of college football that I've seen in a long time.
Well, both teams are at the point in the season where
They
need a win. They need a win. Like you say, you know, with Temple, they're going up against number 8 and number 4 the next 2 weeks in a row, and if they lose here today, it could be a real long season for them. And Delaware, of course, if they lose today, that would be 4 losses at home.
Well, they step off against Delaware. Third down and a little better than 10. Here's Cason with a blocker in front of him. Cason hurdles for the first down.
Great effort by John Cason.
Cason was
Great
covered,
effort.
and the block was thrown on his behalf out in front of him by Doug Martin, number 60, the pulling guard from Union, New Jersey.
Take a look.
And here is number 60. He's just looking for any white shirt, and he finds one. And Delaware has the football at the 28-yard line of Temple.
That's just like you draw it in the playbook.
Reeder, nice job of cutting back. Dan Reeder, he went into that hole sideways.
Well, that's all the room they had in there for him. If he went in there squared up, he wouldn't have gotten what he did.
He got about 4 on the play to the 23-yard line. Second down, and it's a 5-yard situation for Delaware. Long 5 at that.
Looks closer to 6.
Cason, first down again, I believe.
It's going to be very close.
It all depends on where they say he crossed the sideline. And the long look from referee Anthony Chambers. And
they're putting it on the 20.
He's going to have the chains brought in from this side to the far side.
I'm gonna take a quick look here, and
Here is Cason with the reception. And he's out of bounds, and then we get a little bit of a shove after he is already out of bounds.
I think it's going to be about 6 inches short, Len.
And Tom Kilkenny, number 57, just wanting to make sure that Cason was out of bounds for good.
Yeah. 7 inches. I was off by an inch.
Delaware a little bit short. Third down, just that much. And now the Chariot White of Temple. You can bet your
Dippy.
anything you want. They'll be stacking. And they've got plenty of beef to stack.
Well, let's see. You're looking at 218, 242, 253, and 231 across that front 4. And they'll probably have the linebackers up there, so you can add a 219, a 215, and a 236 to that.
And with Delaware's short passing game so far today, they've got to be a little wary.
That would be a good call here.
Third and inches at the Temple 18-yard line. Webster, he just wedges forward. The crowd got a little restless as they thought Delaware was going to use too much time. Webster knew what he was doing. I think he was trying to draw Temple off.
I think he got the 7 inches he needed and 2 more.
He didn't get a whole lot going behind center Gary Johansson.
He's got the first down, though. Now Temple wants him to measure. The referee seemed pretty sure, but Temple asked for the measurement, so they'll pull the chains out again. From here, it looks like he's got it.
They have the right to request that.
Anytime.
Being as close as it is, I'm sure the officials are going to grant their request. They stretch the chains.
The length of a football and about 3 inches.
Well, we saw where they spotted the chains, but they stretched them out, and believe me, folks, it was there. Delaware achieving a first down.
The only way that wouldn't have been a first down is after the last measurement if they brought the chains back and didn't put them in the same place.
First and 10 for Delaware at the Temple 17-yard line.
There he is.
Webster, Pontiacus, can't bring it in. Covered back there by Kevin Ross.
And I don't think he would have been able to stay within the confines of the end zone either. It was a little bit overthrown, but it was a good time for Webster to overthrow because Pontiacos was pretty well covered.
So the Hens will regroup. Delaware scoring on the touchdown pass by Webster to Hammond in the first quarter as Webster took that belt by Todd Bowles. Second down and 10 at the 17. Cason. John Cason. Had he been able to step away from Hanley, he was gone.
Well, it looks like...
Let me correct myself. The man who had an ankle on him and wouldn't let go was Paul Drugas, or Dergas.
It looks like Temple went for the motion to the other side, to the left. And it left a little bit of room on the right side of the line, and that's what left that 5 yards open for Cason.
Dara, who is identified as the left outside linebacker, Paul Dara, 34, from McDonald, Pennsylvania. Third down and 4 at the 11. And he just throws it away. Does Webster? He saw that his man Hammond was covered, and he did the wise thing.
Some of the fans, a little bit restless, but there again, that was the play.
And in previous weeks,
he would have thrown into that coverage.
BJ would have tried to throw it in there, and it hadn't been working in the past, and he decided to forget about it. Mike Lane will do the holding. John Gasson will try the field goal from the 17. It looks good. It is good.
27 yards. Delaware up by 6.
So Delaware has taken a 9-3 advantage over Temple here with 6:26 remaining until halftime as John Gasson hits the field goal, 27-yarder. And even though Gasson has had some problems on extra point tries, in fact, on the year he had missed 2 extra points. He has now missed 3 with the one following Hammond's touchdown reception. He is 3 out of 4 in field goal attempts.
Well, again, I'm not making excuses for him, but on the extra point try this afternoon, you look up and you look at those flags, and that wind is coming straight across the field, and the extra point attempt was wide to the right. And, you know, there's no question in my mind that he got it up in the wind, and the wind just carried it wide of the field, of the goalpost.
So number 7, Don Gasson setting up to kick off. Purvis Herder is in the center of the field, standing at the goal line to return the kick by Gasson. Herder at the 12. Single man downfield for Delaware, and making the hit on him nicely is Joe McHale, reserve linebacker, and Temple will have it at their own 25-yard line. This is the quote-unquote worst field position of the day for Temple.
It's the worst field position a team playing Delaware has had in about 3 weeks.
I don't think that's true, but it just seems like that way. Here is Reardon at quarterback.
Mix up.
Harmon. And the Blue Hens are just stacking for Harmon. They do a little reading between games, and they remember what he did to them last year, and that's not to mean that he can't do it to them again here this weekend. But so far, Harold Harmon out of Indian River High School has been stymied by the Delaware defense.
He was up for that handoff a little too early that time.
Just a yard pickup. Second down and 9. Wide open is the receiver as Pulaski's got him here on the sideline. The reception is made by Greg Fonko. And he'll stay on the sideline here now. First down at the 45-yard line. Fonko on the reception. He's a junior.
That's only his 7th of the year, so they don't go to him too often.
Marshall and Carter, twin receivers to the far side. Palmer, and he just follows the stack for about 5 into Delaware territory, make it 6. As he rides behind the up-front blocking of number 60, Kurt Bamberger.
Charlie Bryce almost had him behind the line of scrimmage that time.
Palmer has got that good quickness, the quick burst. Just a freshman, just 17 years of age.
A mere child.
He got 6 on the play. Second down and 4 at the Delaware 49. This is Moore, the fullback, Roderick Moore. And let me identify the ball carrier again as Harold Harmon. We haven't seen Roderick Moore. He is listed as the starting fullback. But we have seen Harmon go all the way. Spectre Vision bringing you Blue Hen football Sundays on WNS TV in Wilmington, Storer Cable TV in Dover, Simmons Cable TV in Harrington. Glad to have them all along for the Blue Hen special brought to you by Spectre Vision throughout the 1983 season. Here is a juggling ball carrier to the sideline.
I don't think he got the first down.
That's Keith Armstrong. Armstrong started the season as a tailback, running back. He came into this contest at the stadium as listed as the tight end. That's how banged up the Temple is. They've had to use some different people. He's going to be very close to a first down. But watch the bobble here. He never really does get a good
Never has
handle.
control. Look, oh boy, if somebody could have hit him there.
And he just does manage to get control as Jimmy Newfrock comes up. And Temple is going to be short.
About one link of the chain. I mean, it is that close.
You can't really see how close it is.
Oh.
It is just that much. Fourth down. Of course, Temple going for it. 4.5 minutes remaining. Still halftime. Delaware up by 6 now. At 9-3. Reardon just lunges forward, and he's got the first down. He's good size at 6'1". Looked like a strong-legged 180-pounder. He is game in and game out Temple's number 1 guy, averaging with his passing and his running 134 yards per game. First and 10 at the Delaware 44-yard line. Marshall and Carter to the far side. Here is Carter with the reception. He's at the Delaware 31-yard line. Russell Carter, the junior from Brooklyn, New York.
That was a good play on the part of Temple. Reardon was under pressure that time. I didn't get the number of the player who was in there on him, but
Charlie Bryce was bearing
chasing.
down.
Here we go. We'll take another look at it.
Gadden can't get there. Bryce can't get there, and he whistled that football. And a fine reception by Carter at the 21-yard line of Delaware. Palmer. And Palmer slowed at the line of scrimmage, and then he fumbles the football. Delaware's got it. Joe Quigg. Joe Quigg, who has been such a key defensive player all season for the Blue Hens, comes up with the fumble by Palmer. He got turned around a little bit as he took the handoff. The man who put a shoulder into him was Eric Leaks, almost the forgotten man of the Delaware defensive scheme.
If you had to guess somebody who was going to be in there to recover the fumble and you weren't looking, who would you guess?
Number 19. At the 15-yard line, 16-yard line, and this is Cason. He's got some running room inside. Out to the 24-yard line. Quick pop of 8. John Cason does his thing for the Hens. John, a touchdown maker on 2 occasions in the first 6 ball games, averaging just under 4 yards a carry. And also a fine receiver. And we've seen him on the receiving end of B.J. Webster's passes here today. 2nd down and 2 at the 24.
This is a good place for a pass.
Reeder just stacked up. Temple looking for Reeder. And Ken Stubbelow, number 93, introduces himself to Danny Reeder.
I was kind of looking for the quick out to a back out on the, out near the sideline that time to get the first down yardage and maybe even spring loose and get some additional yardage running.
Well, I would imagine that was what B.J. was hoping the Temple was looking for, too. 3rd down and 2 from the 24. There's the first down catch.
That's the one I was looking for last time.
Guy D'Arienzo makes the reception. And we have a blue hen shaken up back here on the 15-yard line. It's Pat McKee, and he appears to be in some pain. Here's the replay. D'Arienzo, and then he is knocked out of bounds. Defensing on the play for Temple is Purvis Herder. Herder is in there now in place of Anthony Young, and there is Pat McKee. He is down. And when we first spotted Pat, he appeared to be in severe pain.
It looked to me more like maybe he just had the wind knocked out of him. He tried to get up and couldn't. I don't think it's a leg, a knee or an ankle.
Delaware gave up 3 points to Temple on a field goal.
Well, he is limping a little bit.
B.J. Webster in the huddle, trying to inspire the Hens on. Webster is already hit for a touchdown pass to Paul Hammond. And then the 27-yard field goal by John Gaston, and that's why Delaware leads it here at 9-3. Temple getting a long-distance field goal from Jim Cooper of 42 yards. First time they touched the football. 1st and 10, Delaware at their 29. Oh, John Cason. He just needed one more step, and he was gone, Howard.
Yes, he was.
John Cason running with authority and getting some great blocking up front. Let's watch it from the end zone. Here he comes.
Right up the middle. Oh,
one more step. Anthony Young was the man who got him. Young has shifted over to a safety spot, and Purvis Herder is now playing the corner spot on the backside.
Well, that was a good switch because he saved Temple 6 points there.
1st and 10 at the 42. Just a little bit too long for Dan Reeder.
And again, Reeder was open.
As pressure was being put on by Todd Hirschman against B.J. Webster, and Webster unloaded it in a hurry. B.J., whose daddy played high school football at Conrad High School back in the 50s.
That his daddy might have known Dallas Green.
Some people will remember Billy Joe Webster as a center and linebacker for Conrad High School. 2nd down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Cason in motion. Reeder fouls for a couple, but they're looking for him. Ken Stubbelow, 93. Third down and 8. Delaware will flip-flop its tight ends. Pontiacus now coming on, and Sager goes off. Delaware on the road the next 2 weeks at James Madison University in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and then up into New England to Kingston, Rhode Island, and the Rams. 3rd and 8 from the 44. Webster, he is sacked. Jerry McDowell gets to him, big number 98. He's a senior, 253-pounder from Shavertown, Pennsylvania. And Delaware will have to give up the football.
But they could have held that line just about another half a second. I think Webster had found somebody open.
And Anderson will come on to punt. He will be kicking with a trailing wind as Temple is setting up a return. He booms it out of there. This is Anthony Young at the 23. And he cannot get past the second man as Delaware has Tom Gibbons, the reserve linebacker, number 54, downfield. And he had plenty of help. As Young got away from the first wave, did not get away from Gibbons. And the Owls will have it at their own 25-yard line with 43 seconds on the halftime clock.
I think that was Jim Newfrock who almost had him.
Reardon has the ability to go long and in a hurry, remember.
Checks off.
Harmon with the reception just to the 30-yard line as Delaware's defensive secondary that time covering well, and Reardon had to throw to the swing man.
They forced Reardon to go to the short man, to the safety valve.
Second down and 5 into the shotgun formation. At the 30, here's the reception by Marshall. Willie Marshall has the reception for Temple as the Owls pick up a first down. We'll wait for the spot. Marshall, number 84, making the reception.
Good stick in there that time. I think it was Joe Quigg.
It was. Joe Quigg
Boom.
makes the hit. Marshall goes down, and now Temple has asked for and has received a timeout with the clock showing 13 seconds as Tim Reardon comes over to talk things over with first-year head coach Bruce Arians. Bruce, former assistant to the legendary Paul Bear Bryant at Alabama. Wonder if there's ever any confusion when they're talking, because let's face it, Bruce Arians
Different language
has a
down
little
there.
bit of twang
That's
there.
right.
I'm sure Timmy, every once in a while, Timmy is Philadelphia or Waterford, Connecticut boy, so he's got his own problems.
You know, Connecticut doesn't have much of a New England accent. You've got to get up into Massachusetts before you get that New England accent. You'll notice that next week when you go to Rhode Island. They don't talk funny on Rhode Island.
Well, actually, next week I'm going to go to Virginia.
I'm sorry, 2 weeks
Then
from now.
I'm going to go to Rhode Island. This is 1st and 10 Temple at their own 42-yard line. 13 seconds left here in the first half. Reardon. Riley misses him. Now Riley gets a second shot at him at the 29-yard line, but that has ended the first half of play.
That was the good part about that play. It ran out the clock. But you got to give the Delaware secondary a lot of credit. They gave Reardon absolutely nothing.
There's a 28-yard run that took 13 seconds. His 4-4 time is not good at all.
Well, he did a
Anyway,
lot of shifting, too.
Timmy Reardon run down when Sean Riley had a second shot at him, and Delaware goes off with a 9-3 halftime advantage over the favored Temple Owls here at Delaware Stadium in Newark, and we'll be back in a moment.
Come see the Italian Science at Buck Cycle Shop. The high-performance 900 SCI Benelli, perfectly balanced, 6-cylinder machine. The Laverta 1000 RGS has changed the form of sporting bikes. The refined elegance of the Italian style, lightweight frame and 1000 cc of power. We're authorized dealers of Triumph, Bultaco, Moto Guzzi, Laverta, and Mongiza. Also, we're authorized dealers of the Weed Hopper, the ultralight airplane. See them all at Buck Cycle Shop, 2701 Northeast Boulevard in Wilmington. Call 764-2876.
Hello and welcome to H.A. Winston's. At H.A. Winston's, you can enjoy a variety of warm and comfortable atmospheres, whether for dinner or for cocktails.
The menu features our world-famous onion soup, fresh salad,
Don't forget the free salad card.
and Italian specialties, fresh seafood, and fine chicken delicacies.
Top off your meal with one of our homemade desserts.
The friendly and courteous service invites you to relax and enjoy yourself at H.A. Winston's.
100 Elkton Road in historic Granary Station, Newark, Delaware. Won't you join us?
You saw it first on First State News. Just another catchy phrase designed to grab your attention? Think again. When a story breaks, day or night, First State News is there, letting you know what the big stories will be in the newspapers the next day. Getting the news from the newsmakers, showing you places to go and places to avoid. So when you want to know what the story is, make First State News your first choice.
The Tile and Carpet Outlet, 1126 Kirkwood Highway, gives you price plus price. The Tile and Carpet Outlet will match or better any price for like materials in Delaware. We're committed to giving you the most for your money. Plus, Our staff of skilled mechanics deliver the confidence of professional installation. We guarantee our workmanship and quality line of American-made products. Remember, it's always Price Plus, an exclusive promise of satisfaction, available only at the Tile and Carpet Outlet, 1126 Kirkwood Highway, Newark, Delaware.
You don't have to go out for Domino's Pizza. When you call us, within minutes, we're custom making your pizza with only pure dairy cheese and delicious toppings. On the road, we keep your pizza hot and to your door in less than 30 minutes. And we never charge for our delivery. But if you think that's good, just wait till you taste it.
Call the Domino's Pizza nearest you. Delivery area and times are limited.
This is Len Holmquist in company with Howard Gessner at Delaware Stadium in Newark. Halftime activities have been concluded. Delaware leading favored Temple by a 9-3 count. And we're going to take a look, Howard, at our first half statistics. And I think time of possession is going to be interesting.
That's a big one. 1846 for Delaware, 1114 for Temple. But you know, almost everything else is almost equal. Look at the rushing yardage. 1 yard difference. The passing yards, only 5 yards difference. You know, that's, 6-yard difference in total yardage.
And the turnovers, that is the big difference.
That's the big one.
As far as Delaware is concerned.
They did fumble once. John dropped the opening kickoff, but he recovered it himself and ran it back. But that's not a turnover.
They have not turned the football over, and that has been their big bugaboo in the first 6 ball games. Temple turning it over twice, Delaware cashing in on one of them.
And Delaware's going to start the second half on offense also. Temple won the toss in the first half and took the win. And Delaware had the option in the second half, and they want the ball.
Jim Cooper kicking it off for Temple. Angles it across field. And Kason's got it at the 15. And not much running room as he is shoved back, but his forward progress is out to the 22-yard line. And the Hens will operate 1st and 10 with the football to start the second half of play. They lead it here at 9-3 over the Owls. John Kason running a little bit more than we have seen him in the past couple of weeks in the first half. Kason carried the ball 9 times for 40 yards, and his longest jaunt was 13 yards. 1st and 10 at the 22. Kason unable to get away from the first man in the backfield. And that's Jerry McDowell, number 98, and Kason will be caught for about a yard loss here. B.J. Webster at quarterback, John Kason and Chris Heyer, the halfbacks. Delaware still without the services of John Merklinger, injured 2 weeks ago, and hopefully the Hens will have him back when they go on the road to James Madison in 1 week's time. This is Reeder, and he gets bounced back rather abruptly by Tom Kilkenny. Kilkenny, the leading sticker, the leading hitter with Temple's defense. Reeder gets about 2 on the play. Brings up a 3rd down and 9. Third quarter action just underway. 9-3. Delaware in front of the Owls from Philadelphia. Webster, a little too high for Hammond.
I guess he thought he had Steve Paniakos out there.
Todd Bowles was covering on the play, number 15. And the pass delivered high, but Webster was on the mark 2/3 of the time in the first half, hitting 10 out of 15 passes for 90 yards, 1 touchdown, 11 yards to Paul Hammond. Anderson to punt it away. This is a very belated fair catch by Anthony Young. Young at about this same spot in the first half coughed up the football, and Delaware turned it into 6 points.
That was a signal for survival.
What it was. Young from Pemberton, New Jersey. Tim Reardon runs the Owl offense, number 14. And let's see if Harmon is in there. Or maybe Roderick Moore. We haven't seen Moore at all, the nominal starting fullback. This is Paul Palmer. Palmer with some daylight. Palmer runs out of real estate, chased out of bounds by Jim Pulaski here on the near sideline. But Palmer showing his elusiveness.
Well, once he got through that line, he had all kinds of room. Here we go. Look at nothing but green. Here comes a blue shirt.
And Pulaski forces him to the sideline. This is Temple at the Delaware 28-yard line. Reardon, he just throws it beyond everybody.
That's pretty good coverage that time by the Delaware secondary. I think that was an intentional throwaway.
Jim Ermert, number 81, was, for all intents and purposes, the receiver, but Reardon, once he saw Ermert was covered, he just unloaded it beyond everybody. Second down and 10 at the Delaware 28. Carter, number 8. Willie Marshall, number 84, to the far side. That's Carter in the slot. Here is motion as Palmer takes the handoff. Somebody on the left side of the offensive front for Temple jumped the gun just a little bit.
You know, we talked last week at the beginning of the game about how we thought that Delaware was going to be passed on a lot because the secondary had appeared weak. And you would think Temple would be thinking that too, but Reardon only put the ball up 6 times in the first half.
Well, they had great success running against Delaware a year ago, and probably took a long look at those films and said, well, maybe we can do it again. Temple only managing to pick up 66 yards rushing in the first half, but that was one better than Delaware. The Hens had 65, but Delaware did have 9 points. Temple has 3. Step off against Temple, back to the 33-yard line. Here is Palmer, and the Hens are looking for it. Charlie Price will be on the bottom of that stack. And Palmer gets dumped back here at the 35-yard line. And the Owls now facing a third down, and they'll need 16. 5-yard step off on the second down play cost them. And then Bryce's quick work on defense. Carter and Marshall to the far side. Wide open. Carter, he is going to be short. Russell Carter, wide open, beating the Delaware secondary. Takes in the long reception from Reardon.
Kenny Pulaski just got there just in time to save 6, at least for the time being.
And Carter trying to crawl in for the score.
Look how open he is. Wow.
Pulaski has to track him down, or it's 6. But here is Temple threatening at the Delaware 1-yard line. Palmer. Touchdown. Number 6 gets 6 for Temple. Paul Palmer. He's the freshman halfback. That's how they list him. Lining out of the tailback spot, but they list him as a halfback. 5'9", 168-pounder from Potomac in Maryland. Only his second touchdown of the season. Temple hasn't scored a lot of points.
Nothing fancy there either, just power play off right tackle.
And Jim Cooper will try to give Temple a 1-point advantage as our ball game is knotted up at 9 apiece. It is no good as it is blown off to the left. Cooper not really getting a good hit on it.
Now the wind wasn't much of a factor that time, Len.
Now he and Holder Lee Saltz, number 11, they come off. Saltz is a freshman, but his hold looked good. Cooper just did not hit it well. And Delaware and Temple are tied up at 9-9, and we have 12:28 remaining to be played here in the third quarter. So Delaware, after taking the second half kickoff and not being able to move, gives the football over to Temple via punt. And the Owls take it in. The long pass play from Reardon to Carter, setting it up.
Well, Delaware started the first half the same way. They ran 3 offensive plays and had to punt. Of course, they didn't give up the 6 points to Temple on their first possession either.
Cooper to kick it off. He's in a real battle at Temple with Mike Abbott for the starting honors as far as kickoffs and place kicking. Temple has had a history of fine kicking specialists. This time to the near side, and Chris Heyer is going to have it hit in the end zone.
That ball came so close to going out of bounds.
And it bounces right back up to higher. Temple's drive for the score, 53 yards. Palmer on the touchdown dive of a yard, and it took just a little over a minute, just under a minute and 15 seconds. But then the extra point, no good. And we are knotted at 9-9. Hammond splits into the near side. That's higher as the wingback in motion. Higher. Reeder trying to throw a block, but his man effectively rode off that block and rode into quarterback B.J. Webster. Paul Dara. He's the left outside linebacker. Webster picks up about 2 on his lead to the right side. Guy D'Arienzo into the Delaware huddle. And he'll now split into the near sideline. 2nd down and 7. D'Arienzo, first down. Guy D'Arienzo setting up in front of Anthony Young.
Purvis Herder put the stop on him.
Herder makes the stop, but not before D'Arienzo gives Delaware a first down here at the 34-yard line. From the end zone, Webster, he drills it. And D'Arienzo catches it. And then Herder corrals him. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line for Delaware, their own 34. Don Cason picks his way for about 4. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage and then skittering forward. Jerry McDowell, number 98, coming into our picture. He got an ankle on Cason and tripped him up. McDowell's got some good size, 253 pounds.
Tim Hanley finished him off. Hanley seems to be everywhere this afternoon.
Hanley's done a very fine job. He was listed as a backup defensive end, but he has been there just about the entire game. 2nd down and 6. Here's Hire with the reception for a first down as Kevin Ross makes the stop on him.
Can we run the tape back and play that part where I say the Delaware backs are getting open?
Well, they are getting open, and Webster is doing an excellent job of feeding the football. Not a whole lot of fanciness to it. Just get the halfback out on the flat and get the football to him. Ross helping out of the stop. First down, Delaware at the 46-yard line of the Hens.
Why not?
Pontiakis. Steve Pontiakis. He has been somewhat of a forgotten fellow around here after doing such a great job with touchdown receptions early in the year, but Pontiakis makes the reception. He's the junior from Livingston, New Jersey.
Now, I think the Temple defense was ready for that play because Delaware had been effectively going to the backs out of the backfield, and that time we got the tight end open.
1st and 10. Delaware marching against Temple at the 36-yard line. Webster fumbles the football, has Reeder fumbled it, and Temple has got the football. Delaware turning it over for the first time, and the Owls come away with the football. Danny Reeder losing his shoe in the process, but Temple has the recovery.
You hate to see that happen right here because Delaware was really moving the ball well.
Reeder into the line, and he has the football stripped away from him. Looked like Kilkenny. Tom Kilkenny strips the football away. Temple recovers, and they have it 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
Going down.
Sean Riley. Sean Riley gets to Reardon as the defensive secondary does their job this time. And Reardon's going to eat it for about a 6-yard loss back to the 25-yard line.
Let's give some credit there to Newfrock and Pawlowski and Harris. They had the Temple receivers covered for a long time. They stayed with him. They didn't give him a chance to get open. And Reardon had nothing to do. There was nothing he could do.
Did you say Pawlowski or Pawlowski? They're both in there, remember?
Right.
2nd down and 16 from the 25. Harmon And Harmon's got a first down here at the 46-yard line. Harold Harmon from Indian River High School in Frankfort, Delaware, as we have a blue hen shaking on the play. Charlie Bryce is down back at the 30-yard line.
Well, rarely does a checkoff work for this much yardage. Usually it just gets you out of trouble, but Harmon did a good job with the ball once he got it. Look, he's picking his way.
It's a screen pass, and he's got the hens leaning the wrong way. And then Ken Pulaski has to drag him down. Harmon a standout for Indian River, all-state selection. Charlie Bryce goes off. Eric Leaks replaces him in the defensive forward wall for Delaware. First down on that pickup by Harmon. Nice run on the 2nd and 16 play. Gives Temple a first at their own 46-yard line. Edwards in motion. Palmer, boy, does he hit that line quick. He was right through.
He was one step away from big yardage again.
Palmer with that explosive burst of speed. He's not got a lot of size, just 168 pounds.
Well, he's a tiny little thing. He doesn't belong out there.
He's going to be around for a couple of years, too. He is just a 17-year-old freshman. Picked up a quick 5, 2nd down and 5 in Delaware territory at the 49-yard line. James Edwards in motion back to this side. Palmer again with a quick 5, and he's got a first down as they are just attacking the Delaware center on defense and doing a good job as he's getting the blocking up front from center Mike Berger, number 69, and the 2 guards, number 70, John Rienstra, and number 60, Kurt Bamberger. First and 10 at the 42-yard line of Delaware. This is Carter in motion this time. And Reardon is going to run out of bounds short of the first down here at about the 33-yard line.
Good thing he ran out of bounds, too, because Sean Riley had him lined up.
Reardon showing some elusiveness of his own. Lots of time for Reardon back there. The Delaware defensive secondary is doing the job again, and he just skips around, and he wants to still throw the football. Now he says, whoa, look at all that green grass. I'm going for it. 2nd down and 2. This is Palmer. He is going to have the first down, although he is hurdled back. Palmer did crack the forward wall, enough for the first down at about the 31.5-yard line.
Greg Robertson stacked him up that time.
That's the Delaware captain from Seaford, Delaware. The little Paul Palmer. Getting some instructions from the sideline. Should have zigged when I zagged, Coach. Is that what you're telling me?
Had a flag against Delaware that time.
And this will be a step off, and a major step off against the Hens.
I believe it was holding.
Anthony Chambers. Referee says personal foul.
No foul.
Personal foul against Delaware.
That must have come after the whistle, too, Len, because they lined it off from where the ball had been spotted, not from the line of scrimmage.
Braxton at the 16-yard line of Delaware. This is Delaware and Temple tied at 9-9, but Temple threatening. Edwards in motion to the far side. Harmon, not a whole lot, but he picks his way to about the 13-yard line. Vaughn Dickinson, Joe Quigg in on the stop. Eric Leaf is also there. And Jimmy Newfrock comes back into the defensive unit. He had been spelled on that play by Jeff Hynoski. The Temple sideline. Greg Pronko is flipped to the far side. Edwards now in motion to the far side. 2nd down and 6. Palmer. And they hit Palmer this time. And he holds on to the football. Took a good whack from Sean Riley. And Eric Leaks is not getting up, or getting up very slowly for the Hens. He is shaken and is going to have to come off. And Delaware will have to go to its depth. Joe McGrail, number 94, now in with the defensive unit for the Hens. As you can see, also 84, Gary Cannon is in at a defensive end position. 3rd down and 2. The ball at the Delaware 8-yard line. Palmer. He is slicing close to a first down.
Robertson and Riley got him in between them that time.
And we're going to have the chains brought in for a measurement. Len Holmquist and Howard Gesner here at Delaware Stadium as Spectravision brings you University of Delaware football. The next 2 weeks, our Spectravision cameras will be on the road with the Hens, first in Harrisonburg, Virginia, against James Madison University next week, and then up to Rhode Island. And Temple is going to be short by just a couple of inches, as you can see. Referee Anthony Chambers signaling. And the Owls here with the 3rd quarter still showing 6:45 remaining to be played, going for it.
This will probably just be your standard quarterback sneak. I don't think they want to risk anything happening on a handoff there.
That's all it is. Reardon is stacked up, but remember, he only had to get a couple of inches. He got stacked quickly as the blue mass rose up to meet him, but Temple has achieved the first down as they spot the football. They're going to bring in the chains, I believe.
Well, let me take a look. I would say he's got it, but not by much. Not by much.
The chains being brought in. WN Football brought to you by Spectravision, WNS TV, Channel 2 in Wilmington, Star Cable TV in Dover, Channel 4, and our good friends at Simmons Cable in Harrington, and Channel 7 throughout the 1983 season. Temple achieving the first down, as we told you, by Reardon on the quarterback sneak. He didn't make it by much, but he didn't have to get very much. 1st and goal at the Delaware 6-yard line. Palmer. He is tripped up, but still manages to dive forward. Just those fast feet. He got away from Greg Robertson, who got him low.
Good balance. Good balance. Able to keep on his feet.
Palmer is just so quick into the line of scrimmage. You've got to remember that they've been going up against the likes of Pitt and Penn State, and he's been belted around a few times.
Yes, he has.
The ball at the 3-yard line, just outside, well, midway between the 2 and 3. 2nd and goal. Palmer, he's going to walk in that time as they find a seam in the Delaware defense, and Paul Palmer, the freshman from Potomac, Maryland, puts Temple back out in front of the Blue Hens by a 15-9 count.
Mike Berger, the center, opened that hole for Palmer that time.
And let's see if Cooper will come on. He will. Jim Cooper, told you earlier, he's been in a little bit of a battle for the kicking specialist spot with Mike Abbott. And Cooper, the freshman, on. Saltz will hold it. He's another freshman. It's drilled. It looks perfect. It is perfect. And the clock here at Delaware Stadium shows 5 minutes and 41 seconds remaining to be played here in the 3rd quarter, and Temple has gone on top of the Hens at 16-9.
Well, I think Delaware has to come out on this possession, Len, and reestablish some of the confidence they had going for them toward the end of the 2nd quarter. And even here early in the 3rd quarter before they lost the ball on the fumble.
Palmer filling that hole very quickly, and he got a great lead block from his fullback, Harold Harmon, from Frankfort, Delaware. They have another Delawarean on the Temple roster, although he is not suited and does not travel with the varsity for road contests. Pete Johnson, who plays the quarterback at William Penn High School.
Well, last year they moved him over. He played a lot of defense, and that's what Temple's doing with him. I think they've made him a defensive end. He was a starting quarterback in high school as a junior, but he got hurt early in the last season and was replaced, and the kid who replaced him, Pete could never win his job back, and he was relegated to mop-up duty in, games at the end of the game, and then Bruce Reynolds had him playing some defense.
Here is Cooper. Angled it across field a couple of times, but now it's more straight on. Higher in this corner. at the 10. And short of the 20 again. Temple's coverage on kickoffs is just great, Howard.
Their special teamwork has been good. They've kept Delaware, for the most part, inside the 20 on every kickoff.
Remember, against Massachusetts, it was John Cason who broke one for 85 yards on a kickoff return. And although he has handled a couple of kickoffs, Delaware has not been able to break anything long. 1st and 10 from their own 19-yard line. Dan Reeder gets away from the first down, slips down here at the 24-yard line. Doesn't look like much, but it's 5.
Gain of 5. Well, he got a couple of it just by falling forward after he got hit.
Tim Sager out and Steve Pontiakis in with the play from the bench. Touchdown maker Paul Hammonds putting into the near sideline. That's higher as the wingback. Pontiakis is wide open. And he's got the reception on a first down. Here's the 35-yard line. Steve Pontiakis.
Kevin Ross up to make the stop again for Temple.
That's the second reception by Pontiakis.
Fake to Reeder.
Pontiakis finds the dead spot. And Webster delivers the football. 1st and 10 for Delaware at their own 35. Reeder again, this time not quite 5, but close to it. Jerry McDowell was the first out to get a hand on him.
Ken Stubbleau almost had him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Stubbleau and McDowell are the defensive tackles in a 4-man front that sometimes has looked like an 8-man front, as Bill Maley has told us a couple of times from the sideline.
A lot of times they move the linebackers to bring the 3 linebackers up, and the rover back can also come up.
2nd down, long 6.